let's talk about the Mandela effect. And I'm just going to give you a theory of how it could all be a hoax. Not saying it is, because it also could absolutely be a melding of different timelines coming together where people experience different things. But it could also very well just be a bullshit hoax. Which is it would kind of be in the same manner when you see the world in a less physical and dense place, and you see different lines, like different states and countries and land masses. You see them as different timelines and states of consciousness and different realities, different dimensions, different places where different things can happen. And this is how it could easily be created, manufactured by who controls the entertainment outlets, the broadcast companies, and the media. Easily. Very easily. Because everything that people... Now, I'm not saying people in their own lives talk about Mandela effects as well. Things changing. But the big ones, they're all based on entertainment and broadcast networks that put something out and the media talking about it. One of the biggest ones, which I did a video on a very long time ago, the Bernstein or what's the other one? Bernstein or the Bernstein, I think it is. Bernstein or the Bernstein. Something like that, but it's the most people probably know this one, that the name of the family of the Bears changed. The Bernstein Bears, though, just so we say it all together real quick. it changed from one name to another, and some people remember it as one, and some people remember it as the other. Most things that are put out on the internet, from when I was looking at it, was the name that I would say it was changed to. Bernstein, I think it is. I don't remember it being that. I remember it being Bernstein, because I had those books when I was little, and I watched that show. But now, this could easily be done by, one, destroying content that's on the internet, any references possible, which you could actually, when I looked at it, I showed it in my video, I'm pretty sure, you could have used the Wayback Machine, which is owned by the government, and went back to a website that had that on it of Bernstein, not Stein, if that is the difference between the two. But I'm just going to keep saying that, though, so it's consistent. Everyone else was saying that they remember Bernstein, but you could go back in the Wayback Machine, which is why I made the video and showed people. It's showing you that this website was supposed to be archived. It's actually called archive.org now. It's archived. It was not supposed to be changed. That's what an archive is. From whatever it was, it has the name that people are saying that it never was. It's right here. But this could easily be done. It's a government-controlled website. Who created the internet? Who owns most of the major entertainment and networking broadcast networks that are out there? Not the government directly, but they're very heavily affiliated with the government and the governmental corporation, as it is, because it's a network of governing bodies, gods, false gods, demigods, and it could even be done from the way that in this state, we're going to show it as Bernstein in Illinois, where I grew up. But now over in Wyoming, we're going to show it as Bernstein. We're going to broadcast it on TV as that. We're going to make all the books that. We're going to make sure everything that gets distributed in that state have this name. It's so easy. And then you do that throughout the states, all different states, knowing who's going from what states the most to make sure you link these up, and then you link these ones up so that things don't get crossed too much, so that people don't start talking about this until it's time to drop it on everyone and to get everyone to start talking about it, because it's already been built now. It's already been programmed in your mind what you think it is, because it's dead and gone at this point. So you already have a preconceived idea now of what it is. Now, when people start talking about it and making a big fuss out of it and literally fighting and arguing and debating about it for no reason, it doesn't matter. No, you can't prove it one way or another, but that's how easy it could be done. When you own the cables, the things that are connecting people to what they determine as the source of all energy. It holds all the energy, which is the government, all the power plants, all of the entertainment corporations, all of these multi-billion, trillion-dollar organizations. And all of these different Mandela effects can be done the same way. Nelson Mandela, the one that started it all. I think it was that people remember seeing his funeral on TV, I think it was, but then he was alive. Well, what if they only broadcasted his funeral to a certain population? Then where he was, in that country, he didn't die. But they didn't have any contact to anything outside of it because of the type of country that was. It was a country that wasn't industrialized in the same way. It was a country that didn't have ties to certain things. Do you see what I'm getting at here? Of how easy this can be done when you are controlling the infrastructure of everything that people see as reality and what life is to them. Because it's based on your environment. And when they are controlling your environment and they are keeping you from communicating with other people in certain locations because they're being fed something different, how would you know? It's like people in South America are told that America is great. I know plenty of people that came here from South America thinking that America was going to be this great place, and it turned out to be a terrible place that they didn't want to be in. They wanted to leave, or they did leave, because it wasn't like they were shown, because they were being marketed a certain idea there, just as people in America are marketed a certain idea because of what they want, because of how they want Americans to think. So if they want you to waste your energy, someone who is determined that they are consciously awake or waking up, you create the Mandela effect, which is going to get people debating about pointless shit, which is going to stop your growth process of consciously realizing who you are and who you potentially could become if you choose to, and you start slowing down now because you're asphyxiating yourself to these false narratives that have been put out on the interwaves. What's another one? The Star Wars one, where this is really what made me think about it. Hardcore Star Wars fans say that the line at the end of what was it? Whatever the sixth episode of Star Wars one, the third one in the original series, original trilogy, was The Empire Strikes Back. I can't think if that was the right one or not. Sounds right. But they say that Darth Vader never said, Luke, I am your father. He just said, I am your father. I think that's all he said, I am your father. If you go watch it, what's on the internet right now does say whatever they say it is. But when you go and watch like Family Guy and a huge list of other cartoons and shows that did that in them, which is ginormous. I mean, that line is one of the biggest quoted lines in pop culture entertainment. And they also say now that it's one of the most misquoted quotes in pop culture, or the most misquoted in pop culture. And it could easily have been done like that. In this show, we're going to put it this way. In this show, we're going to put it that way. In this show, we're going to put it this way. In this show, we're going to put it that way. We're going to change it up either with all these different shows, because they're going to be different audience are going to be watching them. We know people who watch Star Wars don't watch this show, so they're really not going to know, or people who watch this show don't watch Star Wars, so they're really not going to know what actually was said. So we're going to make it something different. We're going to program that into their heads. Now we know those people also watch this, and this show, because they track your ass on these social medias and everything you are doing, so they know this type of stuff. This is how it's being used against you. Until you can think around it, then it don't matter. Then people who are diehard Star Wars fans, they only watch this, and this. So we're going to make sure we put it the right way in these so that they have it ingrained to their head that they know exactly what it is and they're 100% positive. And then eventually it's all going to explode, and then it's going to be this huge thing on the internet, and everyone's going to be arguing, and it's going to be great because we're going to get all this energy from it. And it was so easy to orchestrate with this ginormous stack of data that we got from these dumb sheeps just letting us lead them around like this. It's so easy. It's so easy. It's simple. It is so simple to do this. It's such child's play to do this with people who are so unaware, because they're unaware what they're even listening to. But who's feeding you what you're listening to is very aware of what you are listening to, and then what you will also be listening to, and what you will also be doing, because that is how this gets played up. And it's not about an individual, it's about grouping populaces together to make sure that their agenda gets carried out, whatever it may be, to keep the wheels spinning in the way that they see it needs to be, they desire it to be. And if you ever want to get out of it, you need to jump out of the loop and start seeing it from a different perspective, like this. Stop. Who the fuck cares about the Mandela effect? Who cares? Why does it matter? Why does it matter at all how or why you remember something how you do? That's just how you remember it. Why does someone else have to remember it like that? It doesn't matter. Literally, people who you will be with, that you grew up with, your mom, your dad, your family, you all had an experience of some sort together, and everyone remembers it all fucking different. Why? Because it's different perceptions. It's different ways that people are looking at things. It's different ways that people are intaking things because of what they've observed and experienced before that. So they observe and experience things in a different way, and they'll remember things in a different way. If they're a selfish person, they're going to remember things in a way that it's always benefiting them. They're going to remember things in a way that certain people, I never said that to you, I'm not that mean, because it's a type of mindset that they have to be right, they have to prove that they're not this, that they're this. So people remember things in a very specific manner after it happened, especially a long time after, to make sure that it fits into whatever they have chosen to do in the life that they're living. This is how people are most of the time, because they're not that aware and conscious about what's going on. So this happens in small ways as well. It doesn't just happen in these... It doesn't just happen from big corporations and industries. It happens in all different ways. All different families and groups. It's common. But you could take that small you can take that small idea of how it works just in your family and how things are not remembered the same way, how people will try to always remember things for them in some way so that their life is right. And then, Kai, you are cold.
Yeah.
You're outside? Yeah, I know, I seen you. And they will, and someone else will remember it different. It reminds me of an episode of South Park where, I don't know what it was called, but Jimmy, who is the crippled, who walks on the canes, the stilts, he is a comedian. He makes a joke up, and him and Eric Cartman were together. And Eric Cartman was doing something else. They're supposed to be making jokes together because I think they're doing something for school. But Jimmy came up with a great joke. Oh, this is the episode of Kanye West, which I think is called Fist Sticks, or Do You Like Fish Sticks? Fish Sticks, which that's the joke. Do you like fish sticks? And Cartman said that he made this joke up because that's how he remembered it, because he's a selfish asshole, which is the whole thing of South Park on top of it. But they're showing you how this is happening, how Jimmy was actually there, present, in the moment, in the now, experiencing what he is coming up with, and then this asshole takes credit for it just because he wants the credit, because he wants the fame, he wants the notoriety. In the end, he didn't. But he went as far as saying, as even making things up and lying, not that he maybe even didn't know he was, to prove his point. And this is what people do. This is how the arguments start with people, even in the Mandela effects. This is how that can be orchestrated, because of how dysfunctional people are. They have to be right. You don't have to be right. You just gotta, if you know you're right, you don't have to be right. Only someone that doesn't know they're right makes themselves right every time and makes everyone know it. But they ain't right, because that ain't being right. To be right is to write something off and to let it go. You don't even give a shit. You gotta keep going with it. If you, that's being left. That's being, when I say left and right, that's your left side of your brain. That's your masculine side of your brain. You're trying to prove something to someone. Patriarchal way. If you're right, if you're on the right side of your brain, you don't give a shit. Oh, you think that's how it was? Oh, okay, that's fine with you. I'm just gonna keep thinking what I'm thinking, because that's how I remember it. And you think how you think, and we can just talk about something else, because it really doesn't matter. It really has no relevance to right now. Us sitting here, there's this beautiful meadow of flowers in front of us. There's this beautiful sunshine. There's these awesome clouds going by. This blue sky, the ocean's in front of us, we got cars whizzing by us, we're in the city, there's these beautiful buildings all around, this awesome architecture, and we're sitting here talking about what? Something that we're bringing out of our head that happened 20 years ago? Why are we doing that? Why are we talking about something that happened so long ago? And none of us probably even really were paying attention then at that point to a degree to where we can even be sure that we were there. Why are we even talking about it? Who the fuck cares? Let's enjoy what's going on right now. Let's enjoy what's going on here. Let's do this and stop worrying about that. Gotta be here.